Hello, very dear North Node in Taurus, and welcome to the Psychic Guide. Happy and glad to have you here. As always, you can go directly to the reading by following the timestamps below. And I will do kind of a very, very quick introduction because I'm feeling, that you might be kind of looking in all directions, but not at all something real in your energy. Maybe it's because of this, because I feel that you are simply looking in all directions for some reason. This is kind of the energy I'm sensing. And I'm not sensing much more about your energy. North Node in Taurus, it's actually how do you focus to build a stable place for yourself, to have a grounded life, let's say. Yeah. Walking away from the South Node in Scorpio and into the North Node in Taurus. But anything I know about this is more like these stereotypical kind of things. And also, I think you might be fed of stereotypes. This is also something that I'm feeling in the energy. And this might create within you like an internal battle. Why focus on the material world when the spiritual is much more, it has a greater scope, right? And this is kind of a complaint that I find in your mind, in your ideas right now. So this is all that I'm sensing, this kind of energy of looking in all directions, maybe because you simply don't want to focus on what your North Node tells you to focus on. But that's why I also say, well, this is stereotypical. Let's look a bit behind that. Let's see behind that, right? Let's see behind the stereotypes to see what's really, because it's not so basic. It's not so basic like your North Node says this and then just follow this path and so on, right? Let's see behind that. What your North Node really brings to you in this life, North Node in Taurus. So curious to learn. These guides present here for this beautiful being planting seeds, spiritual guidance. And blocked. Okay, so I love this. Of course, this blocked card can create some uncomfort. I'm going to show it. I have the spiritual guidance here and the planting seeds. So precisely this is what I was saying, right? Like this scattered energy of all directions is this planting seeds. It's that's how seeds are planted. This is something like that maybe we have to internalize a bit more in our culture. Not every seed that it's planted grows to a tree, and it's normal. But in our culture, if you start something, you have to finish. Kind of belief scheme, and yeah, and so maybe you judge yourself for being scattered in all directions, so you feel like that, and maybe you judge yourself. So it's important also to, at some point, yes, of course, to choose a direction. And this is what your North Node is teaching you to do. But it's not teaching it in what like the stereotypical way would say, like build a career, it's actually teaching you to do it through a spirit. So you don't have to go away from the South Node in Scorpio, like forget your spiritual being, but connect with it in a different way to obtain guidance of how you plant seeds in this material world. So you're this type of manifestation that comes to this earth, to this life experience, to bring to matter what spirit has for us, to put into matter. Like, for example, food, it's a source of of nutrition, of joy, of community, of food brings a lot to people. And also not having food takes a lot away from us, a lot. Like it's a surviving even force, right? So it goes all the way from survival to celebration. And when you plant seeds, when you have a garden, when you are in agriculture, literally, you bring some sort of, you can, not every time, and especially not in industrial processes, but you bring in some sort of way the grace of spirit, the grace of life into matter, because you are creating life, and this life is going to be feeding more life, and all the way up to celebration, right? So this is one source of spirit through material things then for the world, right? So how can you, with your job, with your what you bring as physical entities for others to have, how can you bring the spiritual world to that, to be manifested in matter? So you are kind of this manifester of spirit in matter. As I know that sounds very esoteric, but I like with my example with food, it's very everyday type of thing. Okay. Even writing a book is this type of thing. Making art is this type of thing, right? Art is spirit manifest, and things we can touch, feel, see, sense. And this is matter. Anything that we can touch, feel, see, sense with our five senses, right? Blocked. So in this way, in this path of doing that, of integrating your spiritual being and putting it into matter, is you are feeling blocked. And it's also kind of being blocked from the surroundings because ideas that of what people tell you you should do. So it's very important for you to take quiet moments with yourself. And I didn't say a quiet moment because I know you cannot take like 1 week off, and that would be an ideal quiet moment. But it cannot also be like 1/2 an hour quiet moment. One. It has to be many of these 1/2 an hour quiet moments, 5-minute quiet moments, right? And kind of chain them. Like I take 5 minutes now, and what I learned from this quiet moment, I integrate, and the next one, it's another quiet moment, but it's not separated from the one before because I'm integrating a lot of quiet moments. So come back to yourself and feel what spirit is telling you in those moments. And spirit, when I say spirit, is the force inside you that inspires you, that gives you the drive to leave, that tells you about your passions, your callings, this voice is inside you and around you, and as you want to define it, define it. But we simply don't have to get into esoteric talk here, like get too esoteric. Just because we're reading tarot, it doesn't mean that we are saying empty esoteric words all over the place. I feel you have kind of this also struggle of integrating the spiritual knowledge because you've heard too much nonsense. So that's why the quiet moments with yourself are important, so that you start to see what actually makes sense and what is actually nonsense. Let's see what your guides want you to know. Please show up for North Node in Taurus. So we have the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Emperor. This is interesting. Because we haven't gotten any Earth card. And that's why it's well, we have the planting seeds. And immediately on top we have the Knight of Swords, which is this focus. So yes, I was talking about this. It's okay to begin many things. It's okay we have to integrate in our culture that. And also there's a moment where there's time of focus. So it's like right now you're stepping into that time of focus. And we have the Four of Swords on top of the spiritual guidance. I mean, what more says take time for yourself, quiet moments for yourself to hear spirit than this? I mean, yeah. And we have the Emperor on top of the blocked card, and this is the inspiration. This is what is going to make you feel that you are stepping again into life, right? The inspiration that comes from those quiet moments with spirit, the calling within yourself. What's calling you to move? What's calling you to move? And shut down all the voices around you that say where and how you should move. Shut down those and hear to yourself. And when you hear to yourself, like Emperor is also a very self card because it's Aries energy. I am. What's inspiring you? What are your callings? What is your inner voice saying? What is your inner being saying? And this is the inspiration that it's going to release that blockage. Okay? Which I was saying comes from all of these ideas around you, and even from listening to a lot of maybe nonsense, as I said. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of, and this has both bad and good consequences. We have the internet, which is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place which we can connect Two of Wands. But we also have to know how to navigate the storm. We become expert sailors in the way. Three of Cups. Oh my God. So beautiful. Love it. And Ace of Swords. Okay. So I was talking about the internet and how we have this a lot of information around us, and the Two of Wands came out. So yes, we're always like confronted with a decision-making process. Like, should I follow path A? Should I open this link, or should I shut down the phone, or should I read this email, or should I go into this app, or should I open that? So we're always kind of in this type of energy, in the Two of Wands, and that can be very draining at some point. So be careful when you drain yourself, because you put yourself into a choosing position too much during the day, right? And this is where the focus card comes. Like, make a decision and put it to work. And put it to work like for 3 days. Let's say today I decide only to open these 2 types of apps, to see this type of content, to read this type of things. And for 3 days, keep that decision up and see what you miss from the things you left out. See what is to your advantage. Something might have worked to your advantage. So leave those things out for a bit more, and so on, right? This is just like basic type of suggestion. Three of Cups is here again. So of course it's the card of the people that are here supporting you, the people that are here celebrating your journey, and how spirit is also accompanying you through this journey. So again, we have the spiritual guidance, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Three of Cups, all aligned. It's a moment to take time for you to sit down with what is your spiritual guidance. Ask yourself this question: what is my spiritual guidance? What is guiding me? And find the answer within yourself. Your guides want you to find the answer within yourself. And this, again, we have the Ace of Swords here with the Emperor, with the inspiration that it's releasing this blockage, right? So we have, again, choosing, focus, spirit, guidance, like a quiet moment with yourself, and then inspiration, en bloc, release, walk forward, and also like in this type of I am this. This is my path. Ace, beginning, commencement, announcing. Who are you? Who are you? When you get this information from spirit, from your inner calling, you're putting it into the Ace of Swords. So it's actually kind of your guides are saying that they want to say something else, but I'm also feeling they want to repeat this message in some other way. So let's see. Let's see if it's really going to be something else, or if they want to kind of give a little nuance to this message. 3 of Wands, okay. 2 of Swords, okay. And King of Swords, okay. So let's step into this with a new mindset. So of course you have your decision-making process is going to be very fast. You're going to step into the 3 of Wands fast, like you go from the 2 of Wands to the 3 of Wands. And I'm saying let's step into this as a new process. And I just went back to the 2 of Wands. But I am really trying to see this in a new optic. But it's also very important to realize that when we start fresh, we bring the knowledge from the past. Okay, so yes, you're going to begin with new inspiration and newness and new callings and all, but it's important to not forget the knowledge of the past. Okay, and it doesn't mean when you feel this knowledge from the past come, it doesn't mean that you are going back to past habits. It just means that you are taking the knowledge from the past forward. Okay, so actually here with the 2 of Swords is, again, you're going to be confronted with choosing, with stepping into your own energy, to stepping into your own wisdom, and making a decision from a place of peace, of wisdom, of internal peace and wisdom. So it's like you're moving your decision-making process with you. You're going to be in this type of energy for some time. Even though you make one decision, the next days you're going to be confronted with another decision-making process and so on. Okay, but it's also you're mastering this decision-making process. And we have the King of Swords. So let me see what this brings up right now. Well, you're bringing this inspiration to the world. Like this, it's not something important only to do for you, but to bring it to the world. As I said, when you put spirit into matter, and let's say, for example, you put it into words, because this is really like a storytelling or teacher type of energy, type of calling. When you put it into words, into teachings, into matter, you're going to be an inspiring force for others. So inspiring yourself doesn't end there. It's only the beginning. And sometimes you might feel like you don't have the energy, and that what's the purpose of inspiring yourself? Like you might just as well rest, give up, and it's actually much greater than you think. Inspiring yourself has a consequence on your environment, which is going to bring those around you a lot of wisdom, a lot of sustainability for their own paths. So stable ground to walk in. And this kind of, you're leaving kind of an, how do you say, an inheritance, a legacy. This is the word I was trying to. You're living a kind of legacy by this, taking this quiet moments, listening to your inner call. Like this is a legacy type of reading, and it's legacy can sound like the super big and remembered throughout history and so on. Legacy has many. It can be very secret, it can be very internal, it can be like in your family, in your group, in your community, and from there it ripples. It always creates more and more. So legacy is very important, even though it can be quiet. It can also be quiet, and it's also important and tremendous and big legacy. Sometimes there is a lot of noisy legacy that doesn't actually bring much growth to people. And sometimes we have legacy kind of silly ideas, which actually bring suffering. So if you're stepping into this type of guidance, into your heart, into listening to your path, your calling, and bringing up this Aries fire energy to the world, making the good choices, focusing on your path, and so on, you're bringing the type of transformative, beautiful, healing legacy to those around you. Yeah, and this is truly what I see here. Yeah, and the King of Swords, which is sending this message. And also I see like there's a lot of power within you, because I see you stepping from the Emperor, which is the beginning, to the decision making, to the Three of Wands here. And yeah, and this is precisely the ones are kind of this, what I was saying, when you bring spirit to matter, and it creates nature, it creates life, it creates art, it creates movement. So this is exactly what you're doing. You're creating life movement. So it's a spirit world that it's become material for others to grasp. I love it. Yeah. And that's why we need a lot of North Node in Taurus doing what they are called to do for our world. Thank you for being here, and I honor your energy. Stay around for other readings. Please like, share, subscribe, and all the best.